Archangel Michael says your blessing is about to be transferred if you skip this. Don't scroll away. There's crucial insight coming that touches on a deep hidden fear you've been carrying. God wants you to know that someone really loves you even though you are not the same age. Now is the time to listen before it's too late. What I'm about to say is important and not a coincidence. Love that has lasted through the years, pushed through worries, and doesn't care what other people think. Men, in the comments, if you agree with this message, it's simple. Someone has fallen in love with you despite your age difference. I want you to understand why this is important before your pride, fears, or other people's opinions stop what God has planned. I can see that you've had doubts about this and have tried to judge it by numbers instead of its real worth. You were not sure if the years between you made it impossible, wrong, or just a bad idea. But God is telling you that real love isn't based on dates. It's based on a connection, respect, and a goal that you both work toward. It wasn't just a spark that made this person like you. They saw something safe, strong, and truly unique in your spirit. Remember to pay close attention because this is where you miss many good things. Because they don't look exactly like they expected, God's children sometimes push away blessings. If this already feels right in your heart, please click the like button to show you're ready to hear what God has to say. God is speaking now because if you hold back, doors that were meant to open in your life will close. The age difference has been following you around like a dark cloud. You were afraid of what your family and friends would say and how you would feel about not being understood. But God sees hearts and knows the difference between something that is just a distraction and a real connection from Him. This love grew slowly because it was based on respect, patience, and a strong feeling of safety on a spiritual level. God wants you to understand what's going on. Some people are drawn to each other for more than what meets the eye. This is usually because they have learned something from their own lives or are working toward the same goal. The years that separate you aren't a mistake, and they're not meant to be funny. That person is there to help you both grow, to make one of you more mature and the other less proud. Before you knew it, this person was having a hard time with their own problems. They thought about whether the age difference would make things hard or confusing. It was hard for them to pull away, though, because they felt calm when they thought about you and empty. When they thought about letting you go, that's not just a want on the surface. It's a deeper connection based on admiration and respect. You were careful not to look silly. You told yourself it was safer to stay away than to risk being judged. Many of God's children have missed out on real happiness because they were afraid of what other people would think. It's not wrong to be proud of love that is healthy, kind, and based on honor. God's voice sounds urgent because being quiet can make you feel bad. If you act like you don't see the signs, you might realize one day that you missed out on something truly special. It's not the age difference that makes you feel bad. It's the thought that other people won't understand. God wants you to remember that the peace He gives you can't be taken away by what other people say. This person knows your strength, your smarts, and your soft side. They're not interested in you because they want to be rebellious or to find out more about you. For them, being with you is like coming home. There is no change in how well your conversations go or how comfortable your silences are. Instead of awkward as the years go by, you've been asking God in private to make things clear and now He's answering. You're not being pushed into something bad by God. He's just showing you something real. This love isn't childish or a shock. It's grown over time. It has been put to the test by time, by thinking about things, and by inner struggles, but it is still strong. Comment Archangel to demonstrate your faith. If you believe that God is guiding your steps even in personal matters, that simple act will help you remember that you're not in this alone. God writes your story and He doesn't make things hard for no reason. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. The difference in ages could be hard, but that doesn't mean everything will fall apart. They can help people understand, be patient, and talk more deeply. The most important thing is that people respect, trust, and share the same values. God wants you to be sure that this person isn't messing with your heart before doubt destroys what could be beautiful. You're not stupid for having feelings. You're not crazy for feeling a deep connection when other people only see numbers. God gave you the power to connect with people deeper than what they see. Do not let the worry of being misunderstood stop a love that is truly growing. God is speaking now because it's the right time. Now you have to choose between being honest and moving forward or being afraid and moving back. Fear might help you keep your good name, but it will cost you a blessing. You might get asked questions if you choose to be honest, but you'll also get peace and clarity. Someone is waiting for a sign from you, just like you've been waiting for God to send you one. That sign is from God right now. It's not a mistake to love someone with respect, patience, and faith. Pay close attention because the next thing you choose will affect not only your heart, but also your whole future. For a while now, you've been putting off making this choice, telling yourself that time will fix what only courage can fix. God knows that you think about conversations a lot and think about every word, look, and pause. You keep telling yourself that things would be easier if it were really meant to be. Love hasn't always been easy, though. What makes this real isn't how simple it is, but how deep it goes. Being so different in age has made you feel open and like everyone knows how you really feel. You worry that people will use something holy to spread rumors or make assumptions. What other people don't understand doesn't change how God sees things. When He looks into the heart, He sees real feelings growing where you only thought there would be curiosity. This person didn't pick you to say something. They didn't just decide one morning to go after something illegal or exciting. They were just drawn to your spirit, your calm strength, and the way you listen without judging. Because it wasn't forced, what grew between you two has been so hard to just brush off. You've tried to keep your distance because you think it will keep you both safe. It took you longer to answer. You talked less, and you seemed colder than you really were. But the connection didn't break even though they were far apart. It didn't go out like a quiet flame that won't. God wants you to know that how old you are doesn't tell you how mature you are. Some older people are weak because they've been hurt, while some younger people are strong because they're wise. Just because you're different ages doesn't mean you have to fight. Lying, being proud, and not respecting each other are what cause problems. But God doesn't see those things at the heart of this bond. You're still afraid of what you don't know. You think about what this will be like in 5 or 10 years. You're not sure if the different stages of your life will work well together or not. God is reminding you that no relationship is guaranteed, even if the two people are the same age. This is where trust is important. You asked God to meet someone who would value who you are on the inside because it came up out of the blue. You want to push them away now that someone does. God doesn't just bless you when things go the way you expect them to. This person really cares about you. People like you because you're strong, have a painful past, and have grown since then. The age difference doesn't bother them or make them look weak. They think it makes things more interesting, gives them new perspectives, and keeps things in balance. God is also making changes in their hearts. They've been having a hard time inside, wondering if they're good enough for you. They wanted to know if you would believe them or think they were silly. They were afraid that you would always see the number before the heart. This is why your answer is so important right now. This could either make them feel better or hurt them. Being honest can either let someone in or shut them out quietly. God doesn't want you to rush, but He also doesn't want you to hide in fear. Comment 777 as a quiet way to demonstrate your faith. If you believe that God is leading your heart even in difficult circumstances, that means you trust God to handle what you don't know how to handle. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. You should also swallow your pride. You might fight back because you think you should know better or because you think other people want you to act a certain way. You're not living the way they want you to. God is in charge of your life. There will be talks that don't go quite as planned. There may be questions that need time and explanation. But being uncomfortable doesn't mean that things are breaking down. If you both go into it with an open mind, it could lead to a better understanding. Things that could go wrong are known to God. As you go through different stages of life, you may have different goals, levels of energy, and daily habits. But if two hearts want to talk and grow, they can figure out how fast the other person goes. Love isn't about having the same exact dates, but about going in the same direction. Getting over the thought that this link makes you look weak is also important. It doesn't make you less important to love and be loved because you have to be open. It makes you stronger. You're not stupid because of the age gap. People in a world that judges too quickly need to be able to do this. You need to hear something very clearly because you're afraid. Ignoring this won't make you feel bad at first. On lonely nights when you think about what could have happened if you had been brave, it will be quiet. God doesn't want you to carry that weight alone. Still, don't move just because you feel like you need. You should move after taking a good look at your heart. There is respect, kindness, and stability where you are. So just move. Move because praying about it makes you feel calm, not crazy. This person's love takes time. It has grown slowly over time through talks, laughs, and getting to know each other better. That kind of base is stronger than a short-lived passion that comes from being excited. It has been on your mind because you could feel how steady it was. You are safe because God is with you. In the event that this connection turned unhealthy, God would make it very clear. He wouldn't leave you guessing and without any light. It's not by chance that you still feel calm even though you're scared. You are picked, cared for, and led. Don't let the world's noise drown out God's still voice. When you love God, you should never be ashamed of it, no matter how many years have passed. You can comment 99.99 to show that you are listening with an open heart. If this really speaks to you and you feel God's presence calming your doubts, it should remind you that God is with you in every part of your life. God isn't telling you that the way will be easy. He's telling you that you're not the only one who feels this way. The age difference doesn't change the fact that they love each other. Character, respect, and commitment are what matter. Check out how this person helps you grow. They don't try to beat your dreams. Instead, they support them. Watch how they pay attention when you talk. Instead of just waiting their turn, there is no way to measure these signs of maturity with a number. God sent you someone who doesn't act fake around you because you asked for someone real. They are honest about what they worry about and what they hope for. You shouldn't just ignore that because it's rare. You don't have to make this choice to please other people. Being honest with God and with yourself is important. There is a story of amazing grace that is being told right now by God. Don't shut it down. This connection hasn't gone away for a reason. There have been doubts. Time has passed and distance has been tried. Even so, the feeling is still strong. Being so steady isn't a mistake. When something is only a crush, it breaks when you push on it. But the way you feel has stayed with you through quiet resistance. It seems like you've been trying to keep yourself and this person from hurting. As you think about it, ending it before it starts might be the safest thing to do, but safety based on fear can turn into loneliness over time. God did not make you to be protected from all love opportunities. You see the age difference as a sign that is almost more important than the relationship itself. You play over and over situations where people question you or get what you mean wrong. People will always have opinions, but they don't decide your future. This is what God is telling you. God doesn't tell you what to do based on what other people want. This person really has a good heart. They're not caught up in their dreams or looking for approval from you. They feel safe when they talk to you. They feel seen and cared for in a way they haven't felt before. You also feel something that's hard to describe. When you think about making something real with them, you feel calm. Being calm isn't a bad thing. In spite of your fears, things are starting to fall into place. You should see what this connection has led to, says God. Has it made things more or less clear in your life? Has it made people angry and in need of control? Or has it taught them to be patient and kind? You already know the answers. What do you think will happen in the long run? You think about different times in your life, different stages, and different energies. That worry isn't going away with God. You shouldn't use them as an excuse to run away. He wants you to face them honestly. Every relationship needs to get better. People of the same age have to get used to each other's habits, hopes, and pain. The difference in years doesn't always mean failure. Not wanting to talk and learn is what makes people fail. This person wants to get to know you. They are ready to hear you out when you talk about your worries. They don't want you to change to make them happy. They're willing to meet you where you are. That willingness is more important than the numbers. Comment 555 to show that you are receiving this guidance with faith. If you feel like God is speaking directly to you about your situation and providing clarity, let it remind you that God is with you through everything, even the tough parts. Something else is going on as well. This connection is making you think about what you think you're worth. You're not sure if you deserve a love that can see you so clearly, which is one reason for your hesitation. You're used to being strong and taking care of things on your own. So being weak feels strange. God is teaching you that you can be strong and open at the same time. It's not weak to let someone love you even though you don't agree with them. It shows that you trust God. You want a partner who will treat you with respect. This person knows your limits and moves at your pace. You're not pushed to move faster than you're ready. That kind of patience goes beyond age and shows that you are an adult. But you also need to be careful with your heart. If you love someone, you don't have to ignore warning signs or shut down your gut feelings. Pay attention to how people treat you, how disagreements are handled, and whether or not both of you are growing. Being wise and having faith should go together. The urgency in God's voice keeps going because waiting can slowly make things farther apart. This person might come to believe they were wrong to feel so strongly if you keep acting like you don't care. They might take a step back to keep their heart safe. God doesn't want misunderstandings to destroy what truth could protect. There's no need to tell everyone something right now. Being honest with this person and with yourself is all you need to do. Be honest about how you feel. Don't keep your worries to yourself. Talk about them. Being open and honest has power. The bond between two people gets stronger when they face problems together instead of ignoring them. You and your partner can deal with your age difference in a thoughtful way instead of secretly being afraid of it. As you go through this, God is also changing you. He is pushing you out of your comfort zone and teaching you not to judge people based on how they look. Love that looks like God's is patient, kind, and respectful. This place has those traits which you have seen many times before. Leave a comment with the number 1 tweet to show that you trust that God will protect you and lead you through this relationship. This simple action will show that you are not walking around blindly, but rather relying on God's knowledge. Don't let shame take over your life. Caring for someone who cares deeply about you is not a bad thing. Shame usually comes from comparing yourself to others and being afraid of being judged, not from the truth. Because timing is important, God wants you to pay close attention before it's too late. If you ignore what is growing, you might make a space that is hard to fix. There aren't always chances to have an honest conversation. This doesn't mean you need to make promises or commitments right away. It means you need to stop acting like there is nothing there. Take note of how you feel. Take note of how they feel. You're not stupid. That's not a mistake. Right now, you are at a crossroads. Both fear and faith are calling your name. You are being asked to have faith by God. Put God at the center. If you decide to go ahead, pray together. Make rules that will keep you both safe. Don't push love to grow quickly. Instead, let it grow slowly and steadily. God is with you as you make this choice. He won't leave you if problems come up. God is still able to bless you. Even though there are years between you, even though they are connected, the age gap still tries to be heard over it. You should know more about it or be more careful about what you say. But God wants you to see more than the number. He wants you to see the character. When the thrill wears off and real life starts, character is what keeps love alive. This person isn't interested in you for shallow reasons. They're not after fame, rebellion, or short-term attention. They are drawn to how steady you are, how wise you sound, and how comfortable it makes them when you tell the truth because it comes from something deeper than how things look. That kind of attraction is hard to lose. You've also noticed how safe it is for you to talk to them. You've told things you normally wouldn't and talked about fears you normally keep to yourself. They didn't ignore you. Instead, they listened and answered with care. That exchange is holy, and you shouldn't take it lightly. You still worry about what will happen. You wonder how the different stages of your life will play out and if the age difference will become too big at some point. God is not telling you to stop thinking about what's best for you. He wants you to enjoy the peace you have right now and not let problems you think about ruin it. What you have in front of you right now is a connection based on trust and respect. You see patience and kindness right now instead of stress. If there was a clear threat, God would stir your spirit with a clear message. Instead, you feel calm underneath your doubts. You need to hear something else very well. You're afraid of more than just what other people will think. Being open is also important. It takes humility and openness to love someone despite your differences, which can be scary if you're used to being in charge. You like certainty because it makes you feel safe. But love doesn't usually come with certainty. It comes as a challenge to grow. This relationship wants you to think about what's possible in a bigger way. Comment 2 to show that you are ready to follow God's lead if you feel like He is telling you to get over your fear and put your faith in Him. That action should remind you that you are not going through this journey by yourself. This person has been patient with you while you thought about it. They've picked up on your guarded tone and careful distance. Still, they haven't reacted with anger or force. Their answer was gentle because they were waiting for you to be ready. Their patience says a lot about their heart. Being impatient is often a sign of selfishness, but being patient shows that you are sincere. They're not trying to force you to make a decision right away. They just want to be clear. Clarity doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be honest. Don't say you'll always love me today. You need to say how you really feel and what you really fear. You and your partner can talk openly about your age difference. It does not have to stay a tension that is not spoken. Even scary topics lose their power to scare when they are talked about with respect. God is also telling you that every relationship has its own problems. Some couples have to deal with differences in culture. Others have to deal with distance, problems at work, or family obligations. It looks like yours has years on a calendar. Don't let one difference make the good things you both have stand out too much. Look at how you help each other out. Watch how the way you talk to people makes them understand instead of making them confused. These are very important signs of compatibility. There will be times when you doubt again. Go back to prayer when it does. Ask God to give you insight and wisdom. He won't lead you all at once, but one step at a time. You shouldn't have to carry this by yourself. God should be at the center of this relationship if it's going to last. It can help to have a shared faith when you're having doubts. It can help you both remember that love is more than just feelings. It's a promise to grow together. Don't act like you're careful out of pride. You might tell yourself you're being smart when you're really just scared. Wisdom hears, thinks about it, and then moves on with confidence. Fear stops and hides. This person does not think you know everything. They just want you to not refuse to believe what is true. People may feel hurt by your silence, even if that's not what you mean. If these words make you feel at peace again and you trust that God is keeping your heart safe, then comment 1515 to show that you trust them. Remind yourself that He is between you and harm. Along with this, God wants you to let go of the idea that your love has to look just like everyone else's. No one else's path is the same as yours. Because every heart is different. God writes each story in a unique way. You were picked not to be confused but to grow. How you think about love and growing up is changing because of this connection. It's teaching you that strong emotions can show up when you least expect them. Take your time and move forward slowly if you want to. Set limits that will keep things from getting out of hand for both of you. Talk about your duties, your goals, and what you expect in an honest way. Love that comes from telling the truth can handle tough talks. It holds together under them. It gets stronger because both hearts know they can talk to each other without fear. God needs to speak quickly because silence can lead to regret. You may feel like you have a lot of time to make up your mind, but hearts don't wait forever for a response. Don't let not knowing what to do lead to neglect. A love that fully respects you is what you deserve. If this person keeps showing respect, patience, and growth, don't turn them down because things didn't go the way you thought they would. God can bless you in ways you didn't expect. Pay close attention. Continue to pray. Tell the truth. The age difference doesn't matter more than God's power to lead and care for you. You're not just walking into something unstable without looking. You need to be brave to face the possibility in front of you. Let bravery win out over fear. You're coming to a turning point right now. You can feel it as your thoughts change from denying it to giving it some thought. Now you're not asking if there is something between you two, but what you're going to do about it. That change is significant because it means you are ready to face the truth instead of avoiding it. The age gap has been like a wall. But walls can either keep you safe or trap you. You've been leaning against that wall like it's safe for weeks or even months. You stand there for a while, but then you realize that it's stopping you from stepping into something real. Is God telling you to carelessly tear it down? No, He's telling you to see if it really helps you. This person hasn't made you feel like a dream. You've been talked to like a friend, like your thoughts and feelings are important to them. They want to know about your day, your problems, and your hopes and dreams. That is not a shallow love that really costs money. Also, you know how they look at you when you're serious. Their eyes are filled with admiration, not fear. They value your experience and don't see it as a threat. That kind of respect is missing from a lot of relationships. It makes you wonder what other people will say. Your mind goes to raised eyebrows and whispered conversations. But God wants you to remember that people judge things they don't fully understand. It doesn't make your reality fake that they don't understand it. Someone will always believe they know more than you do. Always ready to comment on decisions they didn't have to make is someone. Your future can't depend on what they think. It needs to be based on truth, character, and God's direction. There is still a sense of urgency in God's voice because waiting costs something. While you try to act like you're not affected, this person is quietly looking for reassurance. They're trying to be tough, but they're also people. Repeatedly being apart can make them think that their love was lost. Promise not to break your word today. Never act like there is something there. Be quiet, but make your point clear. Pay attention to how you feel and what worries you. Put 17 Linsen as a comment if you think being honest will protect what is happening instead of destroying it. This shows that you are choosing courage over fear. Say in a quiet voice that you trust God to keep your steps steady. God also wants you to know something about the seasons. People of different ages have had a lot of different experiences, but that doesn't always mean they have different values. Sometimes one gives you new energy and other times it keeps you stable. When put together, these differences can work to unite instead of divide. It's important that you both respect where the other person is in life. What matters is that you can talk freely about what is expected of you and your duties. The way someone talks, not their birth year, shows how mature they are. You've seen that this person is getting older. They pay attention when you tell them something is wrong. When they're wrong, they say sorry. Your point of view isn't thrown out just because it's different from theirs. That kind of humility is rare. You must also keep an eye on things. Being blind for love doesn't mean that. Keep watching to see if what they do matches what they say. Instead of just going with your gut, keep praying for clarity. You are being led by God and He is also teaching you how to see things clearly. There are red flags that you should pay attention to, but you shouldn't make them up out of fear either. Key word is balance. You've prayed for a safe relationship. Safety does not mean there are no problems. It means being polite. Respect has been there so far. The difference in ages could lead to some confusion. Things they talk about, habits they have, or priorities they have might not line up perfectly. However, alignment doesn't grow from having the same background. It grows from talking to each other. Two people are the same age. That doesn't mean they have the same mentality. People your own age have deeply misunderstood you, so you know what it's like. Math is not what makes connections. The love this person has for you is slow and gentle. It's steady and waits. Because it's steady, it keeps drawing your attention even when you want to miss it. As a sign that you are receiving God's comfort, comment 1. If you feel His peace replacing your worry, it should remind you that God is not a God of chaos but of order. You have to also get over your fear of dropped things. A part of you thinks that if you let yourself hope, something bad might happen. To keep yourself safe, you only put in half of what you can. Being half invested, on the other hand, often leads to the distance you fear. God didn't make your heart to defend itself all the time. He made it so people could love wisely and bravely. Setting limits and speaking clearly are signs of wisdom. Being brave means letting your feelings show. This could be the start of something important. That might not happen if you don't say anything. People sometimes mistake silence for rejection. Be honest about the age difference. Talk about your worries about the long term. Don't assume they haven't thought about it. Instead, bring them into the conversation. You might be shocked at how much they have already thought about these things. They might have given it a lot of thought before telling you how they felt. Remember that they love you and have given it a lot of thought. God isn't making you do it. You are being asked to be honest by Him. Being honest makes it easier to make even the hardest choices. If this relationship is going to last, it should be based on faith. Ask God to give you wisdom. Ask God to show you any blind spots or hidden motives. God can sustain love that is worthy of Him. Besides that, He can also shut doors that are bad. Have faith that He will help if He has to. God sees a connection that has stood the test of time right now. That survival talks about how you really feel. Don't let fear change what the truth has built. You have been chosen and will be safe. God can still bless you even though there are years between you. The only thing that stops blessing is not listening. God is talking because now is the right time. Don't wait any longer to have an honest conversation. When you wait longer, the tension gets higher. Take a soft but firm step forward. Be respectful and clear in what you say. Don't dismiss this love too quickly. Give it a chance to show itself. This person has always done the same thing. They haven't been hot and cold with you. They didn't go away when things got serious. They have stayed there, been steady, and been polite. One of the best signs of real love is being consistent. A lot of people can say nice things for a little while. Not many people will be patient with you while you deal with doubt. You've seen that they don't try to beat you. Instead of trying to argue with your wisdom, they praise it. Not being upset by what you went through. They admire it. That admiration has nothing to do with things not being fair. It comes from being thankful. They think that knowing you has made their life better, not harder. Even so, you still hesitate. You're afraid that the age difference will separate you too much one day. You imagine situations in which the different stages of your life push you in different directions. Pay close attention. Priorities, jobs, health, and dreams all change over the course of a couple's life. Being in sync doesn't mean that your schedules are exactly the same. It's about making a promise together. Talking about it leads to commitment. It comes from having the same values. Respect for each other makes it grow. Differences can be dealt with if those things are there. It doesn't matter if two people are the same age if those other things aren't there. You've also been worried about looking careless. You're afraid that people will think you're acting without thinking. However, you are aware that this connection did not begin with carelessness. It all started with talk. It began with understanding. It began with small acts of honesty that helped build trust over time. God wants you to pay attention to how calm you feel when you pray about this. There is a calm steadiness beneath your thoughts even when they are noisy. That steadying is God's way of letting you know that you're not going into danger without thinking. Comment 333 as a simple way to express your trust in God. If you are experiencing that assurance right now, it should remind you that God is with you. As you make tough choices, you need to face another truth. A part of your doubt is pride. You think of yourself as someone who is careful and predictable in the choices they make. That doesn't seem likely. But not knowing what will happen doesn't mean you're stupid. It means going beyond what you thought you knew. You prayed to grow. So God is making you grow. In comfort zones, growth doesn't happen very often. It takes faith to trust God. No matter what the circumstances are, this person has been pushed too. They have also had to be brave to love someone who is older than them. They've had their own doubts and fears of being turned down. Think about how weak they must have felt when they told you how they felt. Think about how much the confession was thought out. Don't take their weakness lightly. You are not being pushed to make promises right away. You are being asked to be honest and show care in your answer. Move forward slowly if you want to talk about your hopes for the future. Talk about what's really going on. Being open should be the base. If you decide in the end that it's not right, make that choice based on facts, not worry about what other people will think. God respects choices that are well thought out and honest. Don't throw this out too quickly because you're worried about what other people will think. Though people's thoughts won't make your life happen for you, you are in charge of your own heart. You need to pay attention to what God is telling you. Comment 888. To show that you are ready to move forward in faith if you feel like God is telling you to be brave rather than being afraid. Make it your promise that fear will not guide you. God isn't ignoring what's useful. Aging can change your energy, your life goals, and the time you want to do things. These are real issues that should be talked about by adults. The main question is whether or not you both want to be honest in those talks. That's all you've seen so far. You saw someone be humble. You know what patience is. Those traits are much more important than how many years have passed between you. Don't make up problems that haven't happened yet in your mind. Pay attention to the way respect and kindness are shown right now. When you love God, you base your love on the truth. It's not sneaky, dishonest, or careless. If this relationship goes on, it should be honest and open. The thing you pray about should not make you feel bad about it. You are not told to hide what is good. You are told to be careful to protect it. One day you might have to tell other people about your choice. When that day comes, be sure to speak calmly. You don't need to make a big case for following your heart when God tells you to. Every time you talk, God is with you. He is always with you. God's voice still sounds urgent because time changes hearts. Distance can make something hard that is soft and hopeful right now if you wait too long. This person is paying more attention to what you do than what you say. They can read your tone, how hard you're trying, and how consistent you are. Make things clear. Treat them with respect. Tell the truth if you need time. Also make it clear if you're ready to look into this connection. The lack of sound causes confusion. Being honest makes people trust you. God isn't the one who makes things hard. He wrote about growth and purpose. Have faith that if this love is meant to grow, He will take care of it. If it's not, He will lead you in a different direction by being gentle. Now God sees what could happen. He can tell what's real. Two hearts are learning to get over their fears. He sees. Fear should not have the last word. Faith should be heard more. Carefully but firmly. Take a step forward. Put God at the center. Since you can see it now, the question is no longer whether love exists or not, but how you will treat it. You still think about the age gap, but it doesn't feel like a wall anymore. It looks and feels like a test. You are being tested on how brave, humble, and willing you are to look deeper than what you see. God's not mad at how careful you are. He's glad you're thinking things through carefully. But He doesn't want your careful thinking to stop you. The love of this person hasn't been loud or careless. It's been steady, thoughtful, and polite. They haven't pushed you into making deals or labels right away. They only want to be told the truth and given a chance to grow something real. In your heart, you know that they treat you with respect. The age difference isn't used as an excuse for jokes. It's not used to flatter or trick people. They talk to you and feel about you the same way they do about themselves. That fairness is important. It proves that this wasn't built on rough ground. It proves their feelings aren't based on fantasy or control. It has to do with a real link. You have also been put to the test in a good way. This link has made you think about what you think about love and growing up. It showed you places where you were too rigid or too quick to judge. It is common for growth to be painful before it is beautiful. There is something important that God wants you to know. There is a lot that can be said about love that is based on respect and shared values. That thing can calmly answer questions. It doesn't fall apart when you truly look at it. Comment 666 as a sign that you are choosing trust over fear. If you feel like God is making your heart stronger and giving you stability, that act should remind you that God is with you every step of the way. There are still going to be useful conversations, long-term goals, responsibilities, and expectations need to be talked over. Don't avoid talking about those things. Grow up and lean into them. Find out what their hopes, plans, and times are. Give a clear picture of your own vision. Being honest now will keep things clear later. Because you and they are different ages, you may have been through things they haven't. They can still grow. Even though that is the case, it means you need to wait for each other to teach you something. They may bring a new point of view, but you may bring stability. They might bring power where you bring peace. These differences can work together instead of against each other, but pride must not get in the way. Do not always think that your experience makes you right. Don't let them think that passion is the same thing as wisdom. Respect for each other must stay at the center. You are not being led into something careless by God. He is leading you to do something that needs to be talked about. Talking isn't a sign of weakness. It's strength. This person has already shown that they are ready to listen. They don't get angry when you say you have doubts. They reply that they understand. That's how maturity looks in action. You've also noticed that they talk about what will happen to you. They don't just talk about how exciting things are right now. They talk about making something strong. That language shows what they meant. You are still afraid that people around you might not understand you. God is telling you that what other people say can't shape your life. People who are questioning you now might admire your bravery in the future. You don't have to make them feel better. Even if they never understand, you are accountable to God's guidance, the truth, and your own morals. If you feel like God is telling you to be honest soon, comment for Font Flu to say that you won't put off conversations that need to happen. Take it as a sign that you are ready to move forward. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. God also wants you to avoid secrets that make you look bad. Let this love be honorable if it lasts. Don't hide like you're doing something wrong. Something that is pure doesn't need darkness to live. At the same time, keep noisy things away from what is forming. The public's opinion doesn't cover everything. Smart people know when to talk and when to be quiet. Balance is what God is teaching you. Just the right amount of bravery and caution. Get the right amount of privacy and openness. Keep your heart and your head in check. God's sense of urgency is not about panic but about the right time. If hearts are left without peace for too long, they can get tired. Keep your heart from telling you that someone is rejecting you when your heart knows something else. Pick a time soon to talk freely. Talk about your fears without casting blame. Do not exaggerate when you talk about your hope. Let them give a full answer. Pay close attention. This conversation will either make the foundation stronger or show that the two people are not compatible. Either outcome is better than not knowing what will happen at all. You're strong enough to deal with the truth. You are smart enough to deal with things that are hard. In this tough spot, God is with you. He stays steady when your mind is crazy. God is not scared of the age difference. He is worried when fear takes away joy that was supposed to grow. It's clear that the time for silence is almost up. What seemed far away before now seems close at hand. You both know that the conversations are about the truth. God is letting this pressure build because it's often when you can't avoid something that you see clearly. You're not just thinking about the age difference anymore. This person has made you think about what kind of partner they would really be. You are looking at their faith, how consistent they are, and who they are as a person. God can tell from that change that you are starting to think about this wisely instead of just emotionally. You already know how they act when you're upset. They're still there when you're quiet. It's not about them that they make your struggle. They are there to help without expecting to be noticed. That behavior shows what's in their heart. It shows that you are stable. This shows that their love is strong. You can also see that they know what your limits are. When you needed space, they gave it to you without making you feel bad. They didn't say they were going to leave when you asked for time. That kind of patience is rare. You still don't do it because you're afraid of making a mistake that people will criticize. It's important for God that you understand something. If you make choices based on how to avoid criticism, you will end up with a life that doesn't really belong to you. You are responsible for being honest, not for getting people to like you. If this relationship stays honest, respectful, and based on shared values, then there is nothing to hide from God. Comment on Viden to show that you are choosing faith over doubt. If you feel like God is making you more determined to find the truth rather than being afraid, let it remind you that you chose to follow God instead of the noise around you. There will be real-world problems to solve. People of different ages may have different amounts of energy, social circles, or expectations. Don't forget about those things. Talk to them honestly. Find out what their long-term goals are. Give yours a clear share. When both hearts are honest, it's easier to see if they are compatible. If something doesn't fit, you don't have to force it. But you can't ignore something real just because it didn't turn out the way you thought it would. This person has been thinking about you a lot. They have thought about building something long-lasting. Even though they are different ages, they still chose to care. Don't think that's not important. Choosing love when there are problems usually takes more faith than choosing love when there are no problems. There is a chance that you will regret either choice. You worry that you will regret both moving forward and leaving. The only way to lessen regret is to talk about it openly instead of keeping quiet. Talk soon. Talk slowly. Say what you mean. If you choose to look into this relationship, you should do it on purpose. Keep your faith first. Ask God to give you wisdom and humility. If you decide in the end that it's not aligned, make that choice after putting in real effort and not out of fear. God also wants you to keep your heart safe from pride that looks like superiority. You might think that the age difference makes you smarter in every way. It shows wisdom to listen as well as talk. You can also learn from them. For balance to stay, growth must go both ways. This person has been pushed too. They have also had to be brave to love someone who is older than them. They have had their own doubts and fears of being turned down. Think about how weak they must have felt when they told you how they felt. Think about how much the confession was thought out. Don't take their weakness lightly. You are not being pushed to make promises right away. You are being asked to be honest and show care in your answer. Move forward slowly if you want to talk about your hopes for the future. Talk about what's really going on. Transparency should be the base. If you decide in the end that it's not right, make that choice based on facts, not fear of what other people will think. God respects choices that are well thought out and honest. Fear of what other people might think shouldn't make you throw this out right away. Though the thoughts and feelings of other people will not guide your life, you are in charge of your own heart. You need to pay attention to what God is telling you. Comment 8.88 as a sign that you are ready to move in faith. If you feel like God is telling you to be brave rather than running away, make it your promise that fear will not guide you. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.